Okay, so what's going on? Basically, I can't play a video game or else it's gonna stop recording. So I'm just gonna tell like maybe 5 stories and let's see if it'll record. So, basically, there's this one girl and let's name her Tree. And Tree is like that girl who thinks that she's the boss of everyone, but in reality, she's just a girl who hates everyone with an undying passion. So basically, we're chilling, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm chilling. And we're playing this game. Let's call it Spikeball. Okay, that's what it's actually called. That's why I'm calling it Spikeball. And she's over here, like, hey guys, what's going up? It's your boy here. Your mom. I'm kidding. She's not like that. She's a jerk. And she like starts pointing with that evil witch finger. You know what I'm talking about? Like that long nail, curved finger. The like thumb that kind of points down in a way. You know what I'm talking about. And she's like, well, stop pointing there. After stealing our ball. And I'm like, what do you want? And she's like, still pointing. And it's like, your net's over there. I'm like, okay. Well, your brain is obviously not in your skull, so I think it might be over there. And she gets like all offended by that. And that's not a real insult, but I wanted to say it. I really, 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 really wanted to say it. So basically, I'm over here, and I'm just thinking, well, I don't know where your brain is, but it sure isn't over where you're pointing. And she's like, go over there. And our school teacher does this thing where she'll like count to 3. We're supposed to like sit down. Okay, makes sense. But no, she doesn't. The Tree doesn't sit down. She keeps standing up. Coach comes over to her. Hey, why aren't you sitting down? And she's like, why do I need to? And I'm like, kidding me right now? Are you actually doing this? Are you actually doing this? No. 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 No, I'm not gonna handle this kind of behavior from a 10-year-old. 10 and acting 2. Sheesh. But basically, she's like, no, I'm not sitting down. Coach is like, sit down. She sits down. That's like really hard not to mess up, because it's kind of a tongue twister, and if you mess it up, you're gonna have to like accidentally say the SH word. But basically, she like sits down. Okay, end of that. But no, I run into this other girl. Let's name her Orange, as in the fruit. She's with this other girl who sucks at the game, right? And I don't mean to be offensive or anything, but she was like bad. And the rules are, in the game, there's a net in the middle. Okay, 4 people. If you hit the rim with the ball, then the other team gets a point. And if you don't hit the net with the ball, then the other team gets a point. And if you don't get it onto the net within 3 hits, then the other team will get the ball. Okay? Simple. And basically, every time that she didn't get a point, like lost a point, she'd be like, yay! And at one point, whenever she goes to get the ball, I'm like, I think we won a long time ago. And she's like, yeah, you won a long time ago. It's 10-4. And I'm like, I haven't been counting, but we have a lot more points than you. A lot more points than that. Because, like, she'd cheer every single time that she got, like, missed a point. And like, yay! Yay! We won! And it's like, no, you didn't. We won. How'd you win? You've literally been cheering every time you lost a point. And you think you're winning? Okay. No, not gonna argue. And basically, she's just being kind of a jerk. And I don't... Okay, I'm sick and tired of freaking Like, annoying people. I stay away from annoying people. Okay? And whenever I, stay away from annoying people, sometimes it can get contagious while I'm gone. I kind of feel like an exterminator sometimes with annoying people. Just like, haha, loser. No, you're a loser. Like that annoying SpongeBob laugh. Most of you don't think that's annoying, but imagine like you sped it up and turned up the pitch a ton, and then repeated it, like the same laugh over and over. Yeah, imagine that laugh. But basically, they're like, and I'm like, shut up. They're like, Start calling me a loser, and I'm like, you both just called each other losers. I'm like, yeah, but you're more of one. Yeah, and you're stupider. Stupider's not even shut up. Shut up. I'm like, like, this is just a quick little summary of what annoying people are like. And, I'm like, no, you. I'm like, it's like, if you're so offended by that, then why'd you say it to me, buckaroony? And, normally, I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't get mad that often, but I do have a little bit of an anger issue. Okay? It's not hard to make me angry, but it's not easy to make me angry. Okay? And basically, sometimes I'll just be sitting there chilling. I'll be chilling like a villain, grilling with Bob Dylan, killing like a villain. Okay? And basically, it's just super annoying sometimes. Because some people will abuse me being nice and be like just total jerks. And they expect me to be all nice and stuff. And it's like, no. I don't deal with that kind of stuff. Okay? I don't deal with that stuff. And I have to share a room with my big brother. It constantly smells like overpriced cologne in here. And you know what kind of cologne I'm talking about. We've all smelled it, but we don't remember what it smells like. But we know what kind of cologne I'm talking about. Okay? And he uses that kind. And it just constantly smells like that. Always. Like, I'm not even kidding. This one time, I came in after school. He wasn't even in there. It just smelled like overpriced cologne. So, this one time, I took off the cap of the cologne. I put it in my bed. And then I put the cologne in this Lego bin thing. Pretty far down. Like, around the middle of, the layers, right? And basically, after a while, he's like, hey, where's my cologne? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, where's my cologne? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, where is my cologne? I know you have it. And, listen, I was in the shower whenever he was shouting this at me. So I'm just, terrified that he was just gonna, bust open the door. And, just take off the shower curtains. Just tell me where it is. I'm like, no. But basically, he gives up, and as soon as I get out of the shower, he starts being a little poo-poo head. And I don't use that insult that much, and I know it's a strong insult, but it's the right insult, okay? And he's being a poo-poo head, and I'm annoyed. And at this point, I'm like, shut up. And he's like, no, you're gonna look for it. And he's like one of those guys where, for some reason, he takes out all of his emotions on me. In 2 years, he's gonna move out. He's 16. He acts like he's 4. Do you know how annoying that is? And, sometimes he, cusses. I'm just sitting there like, excuse me? Did you just call me the B word? And he's like, yup, I just did. So I'm like a stinky poo-poo head. He's like, oh! I'm pretty good at insulting people. Whenever someone starts, insulting me, I'll be like, insult me one more time, and I'll insult you so hard that you will go crying back to your mom and crawl back into the womb. And basically, they're like, oh shoot. Okay, better not mess with him. And I'm not one to get angry or anything. I already explained that earlier. But if I'm in a bad mood, you don't want to get like all rowdy and angry and stuff. Because I can yell. I live in like more towards the south than you probably do. But trust me, I can yell. And I'm also pretty good at a country accent. I'm not one of those people that can like over exaggerate it to a point where it's stupid. And sometimes I take offense to that. So stupid. But basically, like, I get pretty angry pretty quickly. Because both my parents have short tempers. And mix that together, you get me. The youngest. The angriest. Constantly. Like, I'm constantly angry. But not as angry as my mom. Like, sometimes she'll just wake up angry. Like, straight up. This one time, my dad has this rule where if you eat popcorn alone, you will instantly die. So you can't eat popcorn alone in a room by yourself. So basically, mix that together, and now I have an irrational fear of choking to death on popcorn. And most of you don't have irrational fears, but if you know anything about an irrational fear, it's that it's spontaneous, and even you don't understand it sometimes. And, like, I'm afraid that if I even eat a single popcorn, I will instantly start choking and die. Instantly. But that's not true, okay? Basically, I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, and I'm like, hey, I kind of want some popcorn right now. And I was watching the new Disney movie. You've heard of it. We've all heard of it. It's, talking about yeah. If you know anything about Disney, it's that they make really catchy songs out of nowhere. Okay? Like, I'm not trying to be mean here, but if you ever have such a good song that everyone in school is singing it for a month, then that's too good of a song, man. Dial down on the good, okay? Make it a little bad, you know? Oh, and speaking of songs in school, there's this one song, it's like do 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 do. It has something to do with tattoos and brains in one verse. Do 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 do. Basically, and there's this one kid. Let's name him Truxon. Yep, Truxon. And Truxon is that one kid that everyone made fun of. He was short, he was tiny, and, you know, he sucked his thumb. But basically, he would be like, and I'm just in there like, shut your mouth before I shut it for you. And he's like, oh. But he wouldn't stop singing this one verse. It's okay if you end up singing a song by yourself that's stuck in your head, but if you just sing it out loud out of nowhere in like dodgeball, then you can get out, okay? But basically, he's singing this song repeatedly, and at one point I like approach him about it, and I'm like, be quiet. He's like, no. I'm like, be quiet or else. And my knuckles have this thing where if I tighten up my like fist in a certain way, then they'll like crunch up. It's like I bring Okay. Let's just divide it real quick. There's the base of it. First joint bends like down. Okay, second joint, it's the one with the little, like the big wrinkly binkly bit. And the third one, closer to the fingernail. So there's like, closer to the fingernail, which I'm going to label as 3. In the middle, which I'm going to label as 2. And at the base, which I'm going to label as 1. So if I tighten it at number 1, or no, number 3, I bend it at number 2, and I bring down number 1, like, kind of quickly, I can make I don't think you got that here. There we go. It's like a crackling sound. Not that loud, but you get the idea. And it's like loud enough where you can hear it. And like this one time, right, there was this kid, I'm friends with him. We have this like little inside joke about a pocket chair. And if you don't know what that is, just look it up. It's called Pocket Chair, the Amazing Pocket Chair. Basically, we have an inside joke about that. And this one time, I like joked around a little too much, and they're like, "Dude, stop." And then like later, he like flicks my knee. And if you don't know how the car line works at my school, we have to sit like crisscross applesauce spoons in the bowl, like constantly, and it hurts. What have I done? There we go. So basically, I'm sitting there, he flicks my knee, and my knees are aching a little bit because I've been in there for like at least an hour now. And I like tighten up my fist, and I like crunch up my knuckles. And then he like looked away. You know that like cartoon look where they like look in fear with like that frowny face, and then they like look away with their eyes before they look away with their head, you know? You know what I'm talking about, right? Most of you watch cartoons, right? Please say you do. But basically, he like does that look, and I'm like, yeah, better not flick me again, buddy. And he like hears me, and he's like, I didn't flick you, and it's like, okay, then who did? And it was like obvious that it was him. If it wasn't him, then who was it, huh? Then who in the world was it? But basically, we're sitting there, chilling. He flicks my knee, I crunch up my knuckles. And I'm not that strong of a dude. Like, I don't get myself into stupid situations on purpose. Like, I do have the occasional stupid situation every once in a while, but they're not very common. So basically, I like crunch up my knuckles, he leaves me alone. Another time, knuckle related, I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, and my friend, he's like one of those kids that took a ton of pain for a long time, so he basically can't feel pain at this point. And he's like, punch my arm. And I'm like, what? He's like, punch my arm. And I'm a pretty good punch. I can dent a concrete wall. Not dent it, but I can like splatter a little bit of blood on it. My own blood, of course. And basically, he's like, punch my arm. And after a while, I'm like, okay, fine. And I finally got the confidence to just punch his arm. I punch his arm, and it's just a loud. It's a good spot to hit. Here, let me move my phone. It's just a loud. And he shifts to the side a little bit. He's like, I'm like, we're both static TVs with laughter at this point. And he's like, that hurt a lot. And I'm like, what? And he was like, that just tickled a lot. And I was like, really? Kidding me right now? Trying to lie to my face? Seriously trying to lie to my face? No. No. Not gonna handle that. So basically, he's just sitting there, and I like punch him, and just a loud thud goes on. And he's just like, and that was like that kind of punch where if a teacher saw it, I would be in a ton of trouble. You know? I was like, why'd you punch him? Do you see him crying? and like a couple of teachers were like, "Hey, what was that thud sound?" And if it was loud enough that they could hear it down the hall, that was a pretty loud thud. Like, that was a pretty decent thud. Now, basically, I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, like, what are you laughing about? And I'm like, nothing. Then why are you laughing? Oh, I just thought about a joke in my head. Okay, what is it? Oh, you wouldn't understand. Why? Do you watch YouTube Shorts? No, exactly. And basically, that happens. And I didn't actually say the YouTube Shorts thing. I just felt like adding that in because I was bored. But basically, again, I like punch him, and just a loud thud, and he moved to the side a little bit, and he's like, "Thanks, bud." And it's like, like he literally just like slid to the side a little bit, and like he needed to slide to the side a little bit, tongue twister. But basically, he slid to the side a little bit, and he like picked up his backpack and said, "Do it again." What? Do it again? I'm like, "Oh, I can't do it again. Teacher's watching." Oh. And then he just like straight up launches himself all the way to the other side of the hallway. And it's like a T formation. Like, it's like a T, you know? At the top of the T, there's a classroom. On the right side, on the right little wing part of it, there's the door to go outside. Left, 3rd grade and 4th grade. Okay? Got it? Good. And, like, he just, like, goes all the way down. And there's, like, this thing where the hallway kind of goes down, so you have to, like, pick up your backpack, go over to the other side, blah, 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 right? And he just, like, launches himself over there. I don't know if he's, like, part penguin or anything, but he slid with such nice momentum that nothing could beat it. Shut up. Nothing could beat it. Oh, also, do you want to see some bloopers? Because I have a ton of those. So, what's going on? And basically, thank you for the 10 views on my other video. First video I ever made, blowing up already, overnight sensation, even though it's like a week old. But basically, now that it's around spring break, we're gonna be, I'm gonna be making more videos, more. So, and that was just one blooper out of the 27. I'm not even kidding. There's like a million of these bloopers, and they're all super funny, because it's all just completely random. But basically, I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, and he's over here, like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Not much. What's up with your mom?" And basically, he's like, "Not much. Just whenever you punched me, it actually hurt a ton. I was just a little embarrassed to say that it hurt next to, what's a good name? Jacob. That's not his real name. Let's just call the kid that was next to him Jacob. Okay? Okay. And Jacob was like both of our friends, but we didn't really talk about him. So let's just call him Bruno, because we didn't talk about him. I'm so sneaky. But basically, like, we didn't talk about Bruno that much. And, like, Bruno, he's just like he's across the playground. And I forgot to mention that this was at the playground. So, basically, he's like, yeah, I was just a little embarrassed to say that in front of him. I was like, okay, nice, cool, fantastic. Awesome. But basically, after that, I was like, so, you can feel pain? And he was like, yeah. And like, he told me that there was a scar on his face from him catching arrows, and he was super good at it. And one went towards his face and stabbed him in the cheek. Anyone else not buying that? Because on Mythbusters, they proved that you can't catch an arrow. And if he was so good at it, then why'd they shoot it at his face? And, like, he showed me the scar, and it literally didn't look like a scar like that. It looked like a birthmark. Like, okay, if you're watching this, you know who you are. You know exactly who you are. And basically, yeah, I'm just like, okay, nice. And I didn't believe him. And he, like, tried to show me the scar. But his face is, like, baby smooth. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's baby smooth. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, looks like a pretty huge scar from an arrow hitting your face. And if you know anything about arrows right about these days, you know that they're not like old arrows, where they had the arrow tip that was flat and facing somewhere. It's just like it comes to a sharp point. Okay? Okay. And basically, I'm just sitting there like, yeah, okay. And then they call my number and I go. Okay. Now, next story. Me, personally, I don't like bears. They're scary. Okay? And it's like, okay, cartoons trying to make them all nice and fluffy and stuff, but whenever you see one in real life, they're kind of scary if you mess with their children. They're basically just like really buff Karens. You mess with their children, you mess with their entire family. Well, I think I used Karen wrong in that sentence, but you know what I mean. And, like, I saw 2 little baby bear cubs walking around with their mom, and they, like, walked across the street. We got, like, 7,000 pictures. And my mom should totally consider getting, like, a Samsung or something, because those things, I think, have the ability to take, like, 1,000,000 pictures in 1 second. So I feel like she'd really need that. It would save a ton of time, and it would also help her thumb out, because she takes a ton of photos. Now, Mom, if you're watching this, you take a ton of photos. I'm not even gonna lie, you take a ton of photos. This one time it was Easter, and the entire time we just spent taking photos. There was like an egg hunt that lasted like 3 minutes. You might not remember it, because you were too busy looking at the photos. Yeah. Now, anyway, we saw the baby bears, and they were adorable. Like, literally, imagine if you just took a dog and scaled it up. That's what you get. A baby bear. But you don't want to pet one, because mama bears are protective as fiddlesticks. And basically, I was like, aww. And my big brother was, like, freaking out. Like, imagine if you took, like, you know those videos of goats screaming and, like, fainting? Imagine that, but without the fainting. Just, ah. Basically, this is just a video. Dude, I was absolutely terrified that my, computer, like, started talking to me. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, that jump-started my heart. Like, straight up. I was just absolutely terrified at that moment. Because I accidentally pressed, like, I pressed something, and it turned it on. And, like, I just got, like, a terrified feeling in my entire body. And I was like, well, this is the end. Goodbye. And then my brain was like, no, just the recording of you. Yes, you. It was the recording of you. Why are you so scared? And I'm just sitting there like, That actually jump-started my heart, though. Like, real quick. Like, I don't have heart issues, but if I did, I feel like that would have killed me. Okay, well, that's gonna conclude today's episode that was 30 minutes. Yep, 30 minutes, you heard me. And I am going to go post this. And remember, I'm in my PJs. You better be in your PJs too. And you better have some chocolate milk or else I will steal all of your normal milk and your eggs. So you won't be able to make any omelets. Bye-bye.